Thank you very much, Sean. Coming up, the mayor. He is here, Mayor Erland Chau of our fine, our studios located within the great city of Northfield, as most know, almost everyone. And then coming up at 8 o'clock, Atlantic City Electric presents, and we have a wonderful panel. 9 o'clock hour, Mayor Charles Kane. So we have quite a morning in store for you. Stay with us. And without further delay, a longtime friend of mine, he's the mayor of Northfield City, our hometown mayor, Mayor Erland Chau. Good to see you, my friend.
Good morning, Harry, and good morning to all your listeners today. I'm very happy to be here today, but I'm a little saddened that and asking for support from our veterans, which I know you are a very big advocate, and from your listeners on a project that I'm trying to get through the city of Northfield. About a year ago, several veterans and residents of Northfield confronted me and asked if we can get a bus shelter for our veterans that utilize the Northfield Veterans Clinic by the school property on Mill Road and New Road. And fortunately, we were able to get 2 bus shelter grants from the New Jersey Department of Transportation. But here's the problem. Because of the size of the bus shelter, which is a 10 by 10 cement pad, we need to get a small right-of-way piece of property by the bus stop from the Northfield Community School. I've confronted and spoke to the board members for about over 3 to 4 months, and it's been going back and forth. And the bottom line is this, and I'm going to read you one of their concerns. And first of all, let me just say I respect their concerns and the wonderful job that they do for our school and our children. And here they say, quote, "My concern is safety for our children. I am not comfortable with the idea of permitting the construction of a shelter that will invite and promote loitering on the school property. Our role as a board members is to provide the children a quality education in a safe environment. A bus shelter on school property does not promote those goals." Now, again, as I said, I respect their comments and their opinions. But however, I do not, from all the data and research that I have done, that this bus shelter or a bus shelter is going to promote that type of a situation. The bus shelter is for our veterans. Mm-hmm. That's the primary. I mean, they're out in the cold, out in the elements, and this is just one aspect of protecting them. But also, this bus stop has been there for decades. And to my record or to my investigation, there has never been any type of a problem. I don't see a bus shelter creating a problem that will create a situation of safety for our children where they are in any way in harm way.
Either do I, Mayor. And in fact, I'll double down. I don't believe that. I don't believe it at all. And in fact, I think it will be a beautiful thing for our veterans who we don't treat well enough as it is. Let me just bring up a couple things. I have a long track record. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Mayor, but I am long on record, along with our county executive, Danny Levinson, who wasn't even county executive at the time. He was a member. He was a chairman of the Freeholder Board. We went public. They put the school in the wrong place. Let's start there. So we wouldn't even be talking about this probably right now, except they put the school in the wrong place. So now a normal function like a bus shelter at a bus stop is somehow a problem because the school is in the wrong location. I don't hold the Board of Education in high esteem. They were stupid enough to let Glenn Robbins get away. This guy is already a superstar at Tabernacle Schools. He's the 2016 NASSP Digital Principal of the Year. They had the best superintendent in waiting you could ever want, and they let him get away for reasons they've never explained. Yeah. And it's no disrespect to the former assistant superintendent from Egg Harbor Township, fine individual. It's never been about that person. This board is showing a consistent pattern. Even boards prior to this board, where my brother was the president of the board, I've absolutely gone against him on this, where the school's in the wrong location. It should be backed by Birch Grove Park. It would be much better for everyone. But no, we can't have a bus shelter because they put the school in the wrong location. I think you should you're very diplomatic, you're very complimentary and all of that. I think you should call their bluff, make them vote. Somebody needs to make a motion. I think there's a quorum of the board listening right now. They're all calling each other, yeah, turn Hurley on, the mayor's on. Somebody should make a motion, somebody second it for discussion, and let's see if they have the audacity. And let's pack the meeting with veterans, see if they have the audacity to vote against the veterans. That's what I think should be done.
Well, that's what I'm looking for, Harry. I'm on the 27th of this month, February, at 7 o'clock. I will be there at the Northfield Board of Education meeting to once again plead my case with regards to the installation of a bus shelter. And let me just keep this in mind, Harry.
Did you say 7 p.m.?
7 p.m.
I'm putting this down on my day timer.
There's no guarantee that people will congregate or loiter on anywhere, whether it be on the sidewalk, which the city just recently received the grant that we installed or the state installed along New Road, or the entrances or exit of the parking lot. People could be sitting there in their car loitering. They have not made any mechanisms or provisions to prevent something like that. You and I can right now walk onto their property and go to the playground area and sit there, and nobody's going to question us.
Right.
So I do not see that. Back to the bus shelter.
The bus shelter will be right basically on New Road, correct?
On New Road.
This is ridiculous.
Our crossing guard will be there when school starts. It has open windows. It's exposed.
This is like objection to a non-problem is what it is.
I agree with you. And certainly if there was a problem, I would guarantee you that I would have our police department monitor that area during the hours when the school's open, if it goes to that extent. But I don't believe it will, because I've never in all my life have ever heard of any problems of a bus shelter where people are congregating and causing problems.
I lost a 5-4 vote. I don't remember how many years ago. My brother Jay might remember it. He was on the board, not the president at the time. I had been very effective in helping the cafeteria staff. They were being absolutely screwed over by the board. I went on a full campaign, including my own appearance at Northfield Board of Education meetings, where I helped to turn public opinion by speaking the truth and not being afraid to speak truth to power. I was so effective then that when another issue arose at another time, they created what I call the Harry Hurley rule, where they have to vote. If you don't live in Northfield, they created a policy that never existed before, that they vote to see if you're allowed to speak. Honest to God, I thought I was in Russia. And in Russia, I think Putin would say, let Harry speak. So this is how bad they are. I lost a 5-4 vote, and they did not even let me speak at a meeting.
That's unbelievable.
It's disgusting. So I said, everybody, come on out in the hallway. And I had the meeting out in the hallway. And everybody, left the boardroom. But I'm hopeful that the smart heads will prevail. It's a 9-member board, correct?
That is correct.
So 5 people are required, if there's a full complement there, to pass this. And I think it's a very, very bad issue for a Board of Education to take on veterans. I think it's really bad.
Well, not only that, but I just do not see the logic behind that. A bus shelter is going to be the situation where it's going to cause people to congregate without any reasons to be there. And I don't think the safety of the children is going to be affected by a bus shelter in that respect there. And I'll say this right now, right at this point, that I'm open to speak to any of the board members individually if they have any specific concerns. But as I said, I only received 2 questions or concerns as of this date from the board.
We're going to take a brief time out. More with Northfield City Mayor Erland Chau in just a few minutes. I'm Hurley in the Morning. This is WPG. This portion of our program brought to us by the exclusive golf club to the Hurley in the Morning program, Harbor Pines Golf Club, for banquets, any occasion. Owned by the legendary Gerwick's family, it is the home to so many wonderful, successful reunions, retirement parties, birthdays, holiday events, wedding showers, weddings, and so much more. For more information, turn to Deb Stevenson, 609-927-0006, extension 13. Memberships are also available to suit your schedule. They have so many. I can't even delineate how many they have. And so based on your availability, there will be a membership that can be tailored that's best to suit your schedule. Harbor Pines Golf Club, a great working partner for your next golf outing. Deb Stevenson is the only certified golf planner in all of southern New Jersey. It's Harbor Pines Golf Club. They're in Egg Harbor Township. And the phone number, 927-0006. They're on the World Wide Web at harborpines.com. We'll be back with Mayor Chau in just a few minutes. Stay with us. It's Hurley in the morning. Hey, thanks very much. 33 minutes past the hour. If you're just joining us, Mayor Erland Chau is embarking upon an effort, and he's really done a great job because not only did he get one bus shelter funded for veterans, he has obtained the funding for two. If you're just joining the program, the rub at New Road and the Northfield Community School in terms of, just giving a GPS of exactly where it's located, the ideal location, because obviously the bus stop is already there, so you wouldn't put a bus stop somewhere there's not a bus stop. That doesn't make much sense, Mr. Mayor.
That's correct.
So the mayor is looking to get the Northfield Board of Education. You would just think in terms of collegiality, esprit de corps, because there are many opportunities for the city to help the school, for the Board of Education to help, the city at large, that they would just allow the access egress for a 10-foot by 10-foot bus shelter that will support our veterans who are going to and from the Veterans Clinic in Northfield. Mayor, I have to say, when you called me about this, I didn't know about it, and I almost couldn't believe that we even had to talk about this, but then I considered the source, these idiots that are masquerading on that board. And, if you're taking offense to that, stop being idiots, and you won't be called that, because this is an embarrassment. This, I will tell you right now, if you wanted to, but you're not this kind of person, Mayor Chau, you could make a national incident out of this. And these Northfield board members, they'd have their names printed in national stories. Military Times would be writing about them. I know someone very, very well, actually, my twin brother Don does as well, that if I made one phone call, I would not have to lift a finger. If I dealt with the same people that handled the poser, former Mayor Bob Levy, when he was stealing other people's honor, the issue would blow up like you wouldn't believe. But I'm a big believer in, let the local authority have an opportunity to do the right thing. But I don't know that they're going to.
Well, Harry, let me just say this. It's been going on about 4 months of discussion.
Disgraceful.
And let me just also give credit to Councilman Jim Travaline and Council President Greg DeWeese. They've been working along with me about this whole concept of getting a bus shelter for our veterans. And again, as I said, I respect.
Was DeWeese ever on the Board of Education?
No, he was never on.
Okay, but you were, I know for a fact,
that's
and
correct.
Travaline was, I know for a fact.
That is correct.
So you'd think board members would say, hey, these are guys that were Board of Education members. They're not just elected officials that don't understand, how it works, being on a Board of Education, the decisions you have to make. You would never recommend something that would endanger children's lives.
Well, here again, I'm going to read this other second question comment from the board. My concern with the bus shelter is inviting people onto school property, even though it's an outside fence. We've done so many things to keep people off our property. I would hate to see us go backwards. Wait a minute, this is a community school. We have children at night activities where, with all due respect, anyone can walk into the school building and sit there and watch and so forth. We have a playground that's open to the public. We have a foyer. We have a weather environmental covering on the entrance into the school. People can come and sit there. So what is a bus shelter as compared to these things that I've talked about to prevent people from coming onto school property? They have a 4-foot fence. You and I could jump over that, But the bottom line is this. The bus shelter does not have any kind of illumination or special sign that says and invites people, come and sit down here. We want you to come here.
It's truly just the same people that would be at the bus stop anyhow, but in inclement weather, they would be getting poured rain on.
Absolutely.
So they're going to be there anyhow.
Absolutely. Now, one bus...
This isn't some shed with a locking door and soundproofing inside where somebody could grab a child and throw them in the room and have some kind of horrible event happen. This is only covered at the top. It's open in the front.
Well, Harry, we don't want that to happen. And as a school teacher, I understand the need and protection for children. But I don't foresee anything of that nature of a bus shelter promoting that issue.
I don't either. But if this vote were tonight, do you have any inkling of how this vote would go?
I'm going to say it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. From what I hear from individuals, that it could go either way on this.
I think to the Northfield residents, as you listen to this, start taking a look. Usually 3 seats are open each year. Sometimes if there's someone that's left, you may even have an additional seat. Start taking a look at who you're putting on this Northfield Board of Education. I've just got to be straight. I've been here 26 years, and you had people that decided the best place was to put the school on New Road, have parking across the street. I mean, it's insane, on inclement weather, especially the traffic that can happen. I just think they have made bad decisions, not just this era, but for a number of years.
Well, Harry, as your points are well taken, and all I can ask from our residents within Atlantic County and especially our veterans, please come out on February the 27th at 7 o'clock at the Northfield Board of Education Community School Board of Education meeting and voice your opinion.
Tell you another thing that might be worth taking a look at is flipping the script on what Linwood just did. And I really credit Alexa D'Amato and a lot of really smart and really decent, really likable people. They were seeing horrifically bad decisions being made. They changed the whole form of government. So it's now an elected board because they wanted to take it out of the hands of the appointing authority. This is the opposite of that. Based on the fact you as the mayor, the very, very excellent members that you have on city council, I'd like to see perhaps the appointed Board of Education in Northfield. Then you'd have total control. You'd have a board of school estimates, which I'm very familiar with. And ladies and gentlemen, I will promise this. If this board votes down the shelter, I'm going to lead a campaign for an appointed school board in Northfield, and I will draw up the petition. I can't sign it because I live in EHT, but you know what? I'm in Northfield every day of my life. I've got a stake in this. I'm a non-resident, but I'm in Northfield as much as people that live here almost. So that's my promise. If you keep making – I almost did the appointed question when they didn't appoint Glenn Robbins, because that should have been a high crime and misdemeanor to let Glenn Robbins get away, this incredibly beautiful man. You know, one week I had a column already written, Mr. Mayor. It was 1,000 words. It was already written. I was given a tour by your former interim superintendent, Bob Gargiulo, and then Principal Glenn Robbins of the Northfield Community School. And in spite of the Board of Education, it's incredible what goes on in that school. Incredible. I mean, learning that, as you know, Mayor, universities call and want to see what they're doing there. 3D printer stuff, teaching that's going on in the hallways, students being involved in the furniture and the chairs. And I went into this one classroom, and the seating was as unconventional as anything I've ever seen, but incredible learning was going on. It's a wonderful school, but there's bad politics right now, bad politics. And I believe somebody like you making the appointments to that board, and it would be a 7-member board, so you'd take 2 of the bureaucracy right away, out of play. And I believe that Northfield would approve an appointed school board. I really do.
Well, Harry, just to get back with Mr. Robbins, yes, I was on the board when we hired and appointed him as one of our vice principals. And let me just say he was a very cordial, very intelligent, capable, and fun guy to work with.
Yeah.
And he was an asset to our community.
For the students, he made coming to school fun. Kids looked forward to coming to school. There's a lot of children today that dread going to school. They loved, I saw it for myself. They loved coming to school. They loved that they were decision makers. They loved the TV and the radio station. I mean, I'm so impressed with what's going on there. And if they flip the script a little bit here and take these bad politicians out of play, the sky's the limit.
Well, I agree with you, Harry. And let me just say one of my goals here serving as the mayor of Northfield is to bring in to this city talented people, businesses, and projects that makes Northfield a great place to live and shine throughout Atlantic County.
Without a doubt. Let's take our final break. We'll come back, one more power segment with Mayor Erland Chau of the city of Northfield, our honorable, distinguished mayor, just a wonderful man. I've known Erland for well over 30 years. I've seen him on the track. I've seen him at all kinds of high school events. I've seen him, obviously, as a great leader in Northfield, whether he's been citizen, Board of Education member, council member or mayor, every role he's ever had in our community, he has been just a prince. He's been honorable. I mean, his honesty and integrity. And let me tell you something. He didn't even have to sell me on this. The moment he told me that he had procured 2 10-foot by 10-foot, if you will, that's the area that's required for the shelter at the bus stops for veterans that will be going to and from the Veterans Clinic, and that one of them can be put right at the bus stop that's there anyhow at the Northfield Community School. See, part of when you move your school, Mayor, and we got to get this break in quick, but I want to slip this in. When you put your school in the center of things, and there's shopping around, and there's busy Route 9, and a bus stop that's been there that predates the school, you kind of have to accept that you put yourself in this location. So to think you have the right to deny what's already gone on before I'll give you an example. And I was on the Board of Recreation Commissioners in another city at the time this happened. People that bought their home after lights were already there for 50 or 70 years came to our meeting complaining that there's lights at the ball field. Well, they knew that when they bought their home. They knew that. It's like if you buy, you buy your house on Oak Avenue, there's going to be a lot of traffic because that's quite a shortcut for many, many people. If you buy your house on Burton Avenue, it's going to be people coming by, whether they're going to Birch Grove Park or whatever the case might be, or using that as a shortcut from Tilton down to Mill. So to complain that there could be a bus shelter when you built your school on a bus stop is insanity to me.
Absolutely. It doesn't make sense, does it?
No, they're objecting, and it's pretty indefensible. 45 minutes past the hour, more with Mayor Chau right after this. We're back. It's 47 minutes past the hour, Hurley in the morning on WPG with Northfield Mayor Erland Chau. So I want to remind everyone, because this would be, I think, a good opportunity for people that support our veterans. And if this was not even just for veterans, I would still support, Mayor, the bus shelter just for residents of Northfield.
Thank you.
I mean, the fact that it's veterans, it's a slam dunk. But I would support it for just, for anyone. So on Monday, February 27th at 7 p.m., and they meet at the Northfield Community School, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do they have a boardroom? Is that where they meet?
They use one of the classrooms.
Okay, so in the classroom that serves as the Board of Education meeting room, people should come out. And hopefully the board will see that the public cares about this and that the public thinks it's a good idea. I honestly can't imagine anyone being opposed to this.
Well, you never know. You never know. Everyone has their own opinion. But let me just say this, Harry. If you can't make it, please write letters so that at least the board knows that there is an interest and concern outside in the community regarding the bus shelter, whether it be for or against it. I mean, I like to respect everyone's opinion.
Neighboring superintendent who's listening that I want to protect, you've heard my phone's been going crazy since this interview started, wrote that it should have never gotten to this point. Absolutely. I mean, I have to give you a lot of credit. I mean, you were behind the scenes working this for 4 months.
Absolutely.
Not looking to make anybody look bad, just trying to get it done. This should have literally been one phone call, the mayor, former Board of Education member, calling the Northfield Board of Education and saying, I need 3-foot by 10-foot egress. We're going to put a shelter up. It's going to protect our veterans. And incidentally, it's the bus shelter for anybody that's at that bus stop.
Absolutely. And I do know that there are area residents and school employees that use that bus stop.
Terrible. You ever talk, I mean, in the course of my 26 years on air, Mr. Mayor, every once in a while, I do have a conversation about something that it just stuns me. It challenges my ability to comprehend that we are even having this conversation.
Well, it's just the old cliche. There's other better things and bigger fish to fry, Why talk about something like this?
This should have been, yes, Mr. Mayor, not just because you're the mayor, but because it's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with it. There should be no objection to it. I'm shocked about it. Has the superintendent taken a position on it?
No. I have not received any communications nor discussions with the superintendent.
So the superintendent's just laying low on it.
I'm not going to say if he's laying low, but all my conversations has been with former board president Steve Wynn and with the current board president Debbie Levitt, and of course the 3 or 4 meetings that I have attended at the Board of Education to discuss.
Is Debbie Levitt supporting this?
Well, from my last conversation, it does sound she does support the concept. She doesn't seem to have her problems with it after having had the opportunity to talk to me about it.
So we'll see what kind of leadership she has. You would think other board members that have at least some level of objection would call you. Say, Mayor, can I talk to you for a minute? Can we go get a cup of coffee, or can I come over, or you come over here, or come to the site. Let's look at what this would be like. I mean, but nobody's calling, are they?
As I said, I've extended an open invitation to all of the board members to reach out and talk to me. I did text one this weekend, and that board member said that they would call me. I haven't received the phone call, but maybe it's coming.
Yeah, Christmas is too. That's disrespectful too. I mean, you think – I just tell you, that Board of Education, there's something that's long-term not been good about it. There's just something just off. I can't explain it, but I know it when I see it. It's one of those deals. And I've seen a lot of Board of Educations at work in my – and I was a board member. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, I do know that.
And I was good at it. And if somebody came to me – if the mayor came to me and said, "Hey, Harry, you chair the committee that does this," I would present it to the committee. I'd vote it out of the committee, bring it to the board, and we'd have a vote. It wouldn't be 4 months. I can promise you that. This doesn't take 4 months. 4 months to me means they're playing games and they don't want it, because this should have been one meeting. This should have been the city would like 3 foot by 10 foot for this purpose, and you have a vote.
Yeah, I personally, as a former board member, I don't think this is something that should have taken this long. It's a slam dunk that you could make that decision in one meeting.
And the fact that it has taken this long tells you all you need to know, sadly.
Well, I understand and I hear that, but again, with all due respect, I respect their opinion. I respect their work that they're doing for the school. I don't want to make this a big political thing, but I just think that for our veterans and for residents who use that bus stop, it's a plus for us.
Well, we've known each other for 30 years. You could have called me at any time.
Oh, absolutely.
You didn't call me for 4 months.
Yes.
And I didn't know about it until I learned about it from you. So you are still highly professional about this, even where most people would be very negative in dealing with people that were behaving this way, because I think it's disrespectful to you.
Well, it's part of the game that I play, or my job. Let's put it that way.
Mayor, we love the opportunity to also talk to you about other things that are happening in Northfield.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't plan on doing so, but, if you have any questions or your listeners have any questions, I'd be more than happy to entertain their questions and comments.
We've got about 6 minutes, so we're not going to take any calls, but I'll throw a few things at you. Budget year, 2017. How are things looking in Northfield?
Well, this coming week, we will have our first budget hearing and meetings at City Hall. Just like the majority of all communities here in Atlantic County, we're facing an economic downplay of the situation. People are filing tax appeals, mortgages are up, and abandoned homes and so forth. And these are tax issues and budget issues that we have to deal with. We still have to run the city. We still have a certain amount of money we have to raise to conduct all our services and employ our staff that help to protect and keep our city as it is. So it's not going to be an easy year. It's not going to be an easy budget year. But, I have good faith in our city councilmen and our city staff to get us through.
The challenge, I think, started a long time ago when there was a significant structural imbalance and the Republicans taking the majority. And I'm not being partisan. It's the truth. It's what happened. Republicans taking the majority in Northfield righted the ship, made austere cuts, did things that had to be done, turned in even several times 0% increase budgets, which is very challenging, as you know. Then it gets to the point where there's just not much at all. you're into the past the bone marrow. I mean,
we're absolutely, and we are looking at all different ways outside the box, just to see how we can cut costs but maintain services. City of Northfield, we only have 5 individuals in the Public Works Department for the entire city. 5 individuals.
That's amazing.
And as the mayor, I'm in charge of the police department, and that is one of my big priority, that we protect and serve our community. You don't want to live in a community if it's not safe. And that goes along with our school system. We have to have a great school system to support the education for our children, and we need to support their goals. So these are the important things that I want to maintain in our city.
Without a doubt. I mean, when you think about it, for young families to move into a community, they're looking at the quality of the schools. They're looking that it's a safe community, and people want it to be clean.
Sure, absolutely.
And obviously this all costs money.
Costs money and, careful planning. Some of the things that we have undertaken to try to cut costs and be more efficient. We've gone with our share services with our 911 communications with Agari Township. As you know, we've also just hooked up with the ACUA as far as the collection of our solid waste and recycles. And also our share services with Linwood with our municipal courts. So all of these are cutbacks, but yet on the same token, trying to maintain the services and be much more efficient in terms of the operations.
You're listening to Northfield City Mayor Erland Chau. How has, having been a Board of Education member, a City Council member, and now the mayor of Northfield, that there are people that have taken over that don't have the skill sets. They're excellent people. They have great great management skills and things like that, but they haven't served on the Board of Education and on the legislative branch, and now you are the mayor. I know that obviously has served you well to get you to the point that you are now as the mayor of Northfield, but talk about how that experience has served you.
Well, I will just say that what the points that you pointed out has greatly influenced and has enhanced my ability to understand the operations and running the city government here in Northfield. When I graduated from college, first thing I joined here in Northfield was the Northfield Volunteer Fire Company, which I'm still a member of. I was the chairman of the zoning board. I grew up here in Northfield, went to Mainland Regional High School. I now teach at Mainland High School. I'm a track official and wrestling official for the community, councilman, and so forth. All of these have given me a bigger impression as well as an expansive of my knowledge of what this community needs, wants, and we need to go forward with. So there's no doubt that experience has greatly enhanced my ability to serve as the mayor, and certainly it makes it easier, and certainly it makes it much more enjoyable because I understand what's going on.
You see, the good part about that is you have an appreciation because you were in those roles, so you've seen both good and bad mayors that maybe didn't do as good a job as they could have, respecting the authority of the other equal branch of the legislature rather, and the executive branch. And you've been very mindful that there is a legislative branch, that there is an executive branch, and obviously all the working committees and the boards in the town, and obviously the Board of Education. Having been in all those positions, nobody can really say, well, Mayor, you don't understand, because that gets shut down right away. Like, I did your job. Yes, I do understand.
Well, Harry, I certainly enjoy this job as being this mayor. I'm there at City Hall every day. And I make this as a joke because of my commitment to the community and to the residents. Thank goodness I'm not married.
Mr. Mayor, great to visit with you.
Thank you, and thank you to all your listeners, and looking forward to hearing from all of you.
And I want to keep in touch in the run-up to the February 27th meeting.
Yes,
good
please
to talk
do.
To you. Yep. Anybody that didn't hear this past 35 minutes with Northfield City Mayor Erland Chau, the mayor would like the Board of Education to give up a 3-foot by 10-foot piece of land that's right at the bus stop in front of the Northfield Community School for a veterans bus shelter, which he has obtained the 2 bus shelters. And let's just say it's going on for 4 months, which tells you I don't even need to know anything to know that there is objection at the school board level, and I believe that the public could be very influential in making them, see see the light here.